Good morning, Friday, November 20. Oh, November. Wow, where did I go? Sorry. Time machine. Okay, back to May. May 24th. Okay, let's start off with a little story that's been around for about a week or so. I'm going to pronounce this guy's name wrong, but he's a place kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. His name is Butker, I believe. And he said some very unflattering things about women, and people are coming back and saying, well, he's a good teammate, and this, that, and the other thing. They don't really get on him for what he said. Uh, this is about money, and if you're the best in the business, then you're going to get some breaks thrown your way, especially in football. I don't agree with this guy. Anything this guy said, and I don't think he should have used his celebrity status to say it. He has the right to say it. But I don't think that going to a college as an invited commencement speaker was the place to do it. I think he made more enemies than he did friends, and I think whatever happens afterwards in terms of his career, going up or down, going down, if it does, then he deserves it. That's my place with him. Another name that I found in the news this morning was our friend from Fox, Tucker Carlson. What an ass. He's kissed everybody's ass he could possibly kiss, and then he pissed everybody off. I mean, this guy's got an ego that won't quit. Now he's over in Russia. I don't know whether he's there or his show is there now. He's doing shows in Russia, and I don't know whether he's living there or what his status really is. They didn't go into that in the story I read. Just said that he's there and he's very popular. Of course, he's popular. He's a I don't know what to call him. I mean, besides being a narcissist, I mean, he will do just about anything to keep his name in the paper and stuff like that. He's an asshole. Uh, he's a dangerous asshole, and we'll see what happens with him if he makes it through the election. Then you got Trump and everybody saying that Biden wants to see him dead. Well, I'd like to see him dead, but I'm not going to shoot him or anything like that. I'd like to see him get sick and die of natural causes, but you don't go. You say that, now I'm going to get some sort of bad shit thrown my way from karma. I know it's going to come, but but he's an idiot. He's what he's doing basically when he says stuff like that is instigating violence. So is Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a little bit more adamant about violence than Trump is. Although Trump would love to see Biden have something bad happen to him. They say that Trump's going to win, and that just completely amazes me because he's a moron. He's not very smart. He's not very good. He's not good at foreign relations. He alienates everybody around him. He uses them, but he wants to be able to do what he wants to when he wants to do it, which everybody has the right to do in America. Only he wants to do bad things anytime he feels like doing it. He commits crimes all the time. He's been committing crimes his whole life, and he's gotten away with it because of money, power, whatever. And he's continuing this. Now, all he has to offer people is power. He can't offer them money anymore. He doesn't have cash. He's cash poor. Okay? He's worth 3 point. A lot of billionaires are worth worth more on paper than they are in the reality of it. I told you the story that when I went to work for the Rusty Scupper Company back in 1978, they got bought by Nestle's. We were told to come in, and we were told the story of Nestle's. Nestle's was a 5-member family that owned the largest food-producing corporation in the world at the time. They were the only people in the world that could come out tomorrow morning with $1 billion in cash assets. Okay, and that's true today. I don't know whether that's true about them today, but billionaires can't come up with $1 billion. Okay, Trump can't do it. Trump is worse shape than most of the other billionaires I know because he's mortgaged to the hilt. He can't borrow anything. You know, it's ridiculous. He can't come up with $200,000 in cash without scraping and clawing through every kind of garbage loan company there is. Uh, he's just so you don't. He's not. He's rich on paper. You know, I mean, if he sells everything, yeah, he can come up with the. He'll probably get about 80 cents on the dollar, maybe 90 cents on the dollar, if he sell that he thinks what it, but not what he thinks this stuff is worth, at the actual value of like the hotel and stuff like that, because he's overflates everything because his ego makes him think has to make him the richest rich. You know, he's not even close to being the richest man in the world. I think he's 200 and something like that in value. You know, so. For him to go, around, I'm rich. Yeah, well, fine. You know, I put a post up on Facebook today that the reason he keeps the Secret Service around is, and he wants to keep him around is because he can't come up with the cash to rent the Uber. That's how poor he is, and I think that's true. You know, he doesn't. I don't know who pays his McDonald's bill. You know, because it ain't him. He's not reaching in his pocket and pulling out a 20. You know. Not that cheap son of a bitch. So, that's pretty much for him today, I guess. There's another story I saw this morning about colleges are now free to pay. The NCAA says you can just pay them directly now. Pay your college athletes directly, and that'll ruin the sport. Because you're going to get the elite will be elite, you know, and the rest of the schools will just be so-so. You know, you take a school like Montclair State that produced, as far as I know, at least one NFL player and a linebacker whose name escapes, Sam something or something. That wasn't Sam Huff. It was something. I forget what it was. Anyhow, saw him play in college. Great ball player. Deserved what he got. All heart. You know. A lot of some ability, but all heart. And a really hard, tough player. And if he was getting paid, he would have earned every dollar he got. But these guys are going to come out of this situation thinking they're worth more money than they are. You know, they're going to get paid by a college, and I don't know whether there's a standard or if there's a ceiling as to how much they can pay a student or whatever. I haven't read any of that yet. We'll have to find that out. If there isn't any ceiling that they can pay a student, you can have a college kid coming to play, signing a 4-year contract for what's it called? So UCLA, let's say, and getting maybe $100 million contract for 4 years. But you know, I wonder what happens if they lose games. If a quarterback loses a game, can they fire him? Will they fire him? You know, will they cut his pay? No, this is bullshit. You have to separate that. If you don't want to separate the two, that's fine. But set in some rules, you know, put in some rules that these kids can't make a fortune before they graduate, you know. And if they get hurt, they're done. You're not paying them. You don't pay them for the rest of their lives, you know. The contract is null and void. I would do that if you want to pay. Sure, fine, but you got to take a risk now, because you're putting the education value of the school in the toilet. You're going to see programs are going to get cut. Ticket prices for college games are going to go to astronomical figures. College kids aren't going to be able to afford student tickets anymore. And I really think this is one of the worst things that could have happened to college sports. But hey, you know, I'm not a banker. I'm not a financier. You know, I'm just a kid that loves football, and I enjoy the college game because, especially small colleges, because these kids know they're not getting, you know, $100 million pro contract. Some of them are going to try out for the pros. Some of them actually do make the pros. But for the most part, these kids are playing for the hell of it. Even if it's a scholarship, they're playing for and they get an education. They go to class. They don't just walk through it. If you go to a small school, at least you get a scholarship to play football. There's two choices. They'll either put you through as a the hell they used to call it, well, say like a gym teacher or something. That's what you'll study. You'll study gym, major in gym, or you go in and you can come out as a well-educated individual, well-educated businessman or architect or whatever you want to be, and get a diploma and everything to be worth something. In the long run, you're worth more than most of these professional athletes are worth. These athletes don't get all their money up front. It's put into, if they got all their money up front, they'd get about 20% of this. When they're done with the fees and managers' fees and all that, agents' fees and all this stuff, and Kangaron fees and this fee and that fee, and they come out. You say you get I'm going to use round figures. You get $1 million. By the time you come out, you're going to get about $60,000. If you got it all at one time. So what they do is they spread it out over. I think it's a 20-year annuity they give these people. And the problem happens. It's like winning the lottery. Okay. You just signed a $368 million contract. You have credit. You're like Trump. You have credit. Okay? But you don't have cash. You can borrow against that $368 million in earnings. Especially if it's a guaranteed, whatever the portion of that contract is actually guaranteed, you can borrow up the hilt to that if you want to. But then you got to turn around and pay it back. And if you get hurt and you're not playing anymore and you only have one contract, 4 years, that's it, you're done. You'll be broke by the time you're 65 years old unless you're really smart and make some moves, But you won't be living a millionaire's lifestyle when you're 65. Money's a funny thing, all right? Contracts are an even funnier thing. How they use them and how they use you and whatnot in the process, and it's the same everywhere. It's not just sports. I mean, it's the same in any profession you go into. There's a catch to it always. You either have to produce and you can, but it's your lifestyle. If you get $1 million, if you win $1 million tomorrow morning, tax-free, $1 million, that's a lot of money. All right. Most people think they could spend that in a year. You can spend it in 6 months. It's been done by lottery winners. Okay, they end up so far in debt that they can't pay because you have $1 million. Because you have credit. Credit is the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity. Okay, I know. Okay, I have an example of it. Give me credit and I'll go crazy. I don't have any credit anymore. I don't want it. I don't need it. My wife has a lot of credit and she owes a lot of money, and that's her problem. I'm not going to be around to pay it. Right now she doesn't have to do a thing, and she makes more money than most of the people than half the people in Colombia do. More than 75% of the people in Colombia do. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, Friday. TGIF, cocktail hour today. Dancing. Looking for a little weekend love? What's going on, people? If you got any balls, give me a comment at the bottom of the video, and we'll get back to you. Maybe, if I feel like it. Okay, this is Jeff, and I don't know where Lucy is. She's around someplace. She's probably sleeping because I took her for a very long walk this morning. She got to play with a whole bunch of dogs, They enjoyed themselves. So that's it. All right. I don't think I'll be back, but if you never know. Like I said, if something special comes along, I'll be back. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, folks.